Welcome back, everybody. Happy 2026. We have made it. Goodbye, 2025. What a year. What a year. I am happy to welcome the new year. 2026 is going to be wonderful. We say this every year. Oh, it's going to be great. It is. It has to be. We're going to make it that way. It's all about intention. What are we going to do to make it great? And one of the things that I know that we can do to make it great is to come back with ease. Come back with ease. Just begin again, but not hitting the ground running. People say that all the time. Like, let's hit the ground running. We all mean well when we say that, but your pace it needs to make sense. It needs to be aligned with the purpose and the goal. So if the goal is not to finish the fastest, is to actually do well, then you might need to adjust that pace. So today's episode is more so about ease. And as we talk about ease, I probably just chat a lot at the beginning just about what I did over the break and how important relaxation is. And then we'll get into a little bit of a conversation about ease with regard to leadership. So over the break, man, I slept so much. You don't know how hard you're going until you stop going. I mean, that first Monday, we got out Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday is like a normal Saturday, Sunday. But man, Monday rolled around, I was in the bed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I wouldn't say I was sick, but I didn't have the energy. Like, I just didn't have it. And it felt like my body was like, girl, finally, sit down somewhere. And I listened. I binged all shows that I could find that I was interested in. I ate the snacks. I drank the water. I drank other things. It was fun. It was just a good old time. My husband said, you were in the bed for about 3 days, right? I was like, yeah, I earned it. It's fine. I had a really good time though. And the boys were great. They let me rest. They'd come in from time to time to check on me. We'd chat a little bit and then they'd leave. And it was good. I think one of the reasons why I stayed in there so long was a headache. I had a massive headache for a couple of those days. But when I spoke to other people about it, I'm not the only one. A couple of my girlfriends said the same thing. They were saying, you know what? Yeah, I felt the same way. I was really tired. Like I couldn't really get out of bed. I couldn't move. I was just kind of in a funk. Some people were, described it that way. They said they were in a funk. That they just couldn't get up and do things. And so, I mean, I get that. That happens sometimes when you are on the go and you have like this schedule and you have to keep this schedule. You have to be here. You have to be there at this time to do that for other people. And you forget about yourself. You take the time to get that done when you have it. And sometimes if you don't take the time to get that done, your body will sit you down. So you don't sit down, your body will sit you down. That happens. And so I think that first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my body said, you're going to sit down somewhere, whether you like it or not. And that is what happened. But that was a good time. Most of the things that I wanted to do and eat and see, I got to do and eat and see. So that's great. I am looking back and thinking, what did I watch? Oh, the major thing, y'all know too much TV. That's all I can say. I know it's not good, but I did read. I did have a little podcasting time, but I spend a lot of time watching TV. I did watch Stranger Things. Christmas was wonderful. Spent time with family, did the gifts and we talked to each other and spent time with each other, went to, grandparents' house and it was a good time. But when we got home, it was on. Stranger Things was on TV. We watched sports. We watched a couple, football, basketball. We did that. But I wanted to see Stranger Things. I wanted to see what happened. That was important to me. So watched it. I thought it was good. I had questions after and I had notes, but I thought it was good. it kept me, you know, interested in what was going on. I found it interesting to learn more about Henry and his background and growing up and kind of what he went through. I wish they would have showed a little bit more of his background because we only really got a snippet, like one little snippet of something that happened to him um in that Christmas episode and that New Year's episode. And it was like, that's it? That's all y'all gonna show us? What else made him so ridiculously crazy? But okay, this one thing really had an effect on him. Who am I to judge? Yeah, I've been through things really had effect on me. So, okay, cool. If the writers want to write that way, cool, 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 cool. Henry, though, was one of those scary figures that it kind of reminded me, don't confuse attention with intention. They are not the same thing. So just because someone or something is giving you attention doesn't mean that their intention is a positive one or one that's meant to help you. So it is important to keep that in mind when you are interacting with folks and with different things. So then that New Year's episode came out, and I was like, what? Okay, spoiler alert. If you have not watched it, first of all, you're behind. It's been a while. I am recording this many days after the New Year's episode came out. So catch up. Catch up. Just turn it off for the next couple minutes if you haven't seen it. Okay, go. So what ends up happening is, right, this man, I think the whole issue that I had was once you got to the very end where they actually fight the mind flayer, why was it over so quickly? Like, if it seemed like they were really about to go in and fight, and Elle, like, with her mind threw a rock and hit the big spider mind flayer thing, and then it was like, and then the fight was on, and then they went inside and they pretty much killed Vecna quickly. And my thought was like, where are those little scary the Demigorgon things, or the demagogues, demidogs, whatever they call them? Where'd they go? Because they were scary to me. They felt more concerning as an opponent than that mind flayer thing. And the same with him. It was like, why he didn't call him? Because he called him all the other times when Nancy mama, when she came and in the hospital and she saved them in the basement, and when the demodogs were there, it's like, well, why didn't he call the demodogs again at the end? Because they seem to be harder to fight than Vecna himself and the mind flayer. Like, it was just, I had questions. I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at the ending, but I did have questions. I was wondering also, was it all just a figment of their imagination? Was it just some big, elaborate Dungeons and Dragons campaign? Is it all real or not? Is Homegirl, I'm bad with names. I know that's horrible. But the sister, that Elle sister that came back, was she still like making it seem like they were in a particular place and they weren't? Like, I just wonder. Because it said it had been like a year and a half or whatever, but I would need a lot of therapy after going through all of that. And they just kind of went on about their lives like, yeah, guys, we have each other. No, no, we don't just go back to normal. That whole town, I was like, y'all crazy. I would have to move. But they stayed, and yay, we're at graduation. It was just odd. It did make sense that the younger kids that were taken by Vecna earlier and that they were rescued ended up wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they came to the table and they were, kind of like the new kids on the block, if you will, and playing the game. And if they wanted to do a spinoff, they could with those kids, right? That could easily happen. They could even do a spinoff about whether or not Elle lived or didn't live and where she went. And I don't know. It looked like she was in like New Zealand or somewhere like that. Somewhere gorgeous. It was a very beautiful place wherever she went. Possibly Scotland or something. It was pretty. But she was there in a village, maybe. I don't know. They could do a spinoff about that, but they did. I saw something where it said that the writers said there would be a spinoff, but it would be new characters and a different storyline and stuff. So I don't know. We would just have to see. So that's that. Stranger Things was a thing, and now it's not. Now what? Now what do we watch? But that was good. I also another thing that we took a lot of time to watch because the movies are just progressively longer and longer was Avatar. Avatar, the I forgot this movie because I want to say the first one came out in like 2009. Like it was a long time ago. I was a different person. So when my husband was like, "You want to go see Avatar with me and the boys?" I was like, "Nah, y'all go, guys' night, have fun." And he was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't even remember it." So he's like, "Well, let's just look at it and see if you remember." So he turned it back on and I was like, and the person that I am now connected with the whole spiritual connection that they have to Pandora and how everyone and everything is connected and they have such respect for one another and the environment around them and even the people that come in, the sky people, humans, right, that come in to, try to hurt them. They don't necessarily just automatically fight them. They did try to listen. And it was just, I said, oh, okay, this is a little different. Okay, I'll give it a chance. And he was like, I told you, I told you. So then, that was it was like 2 hours and something. Then the second one, Way of the Water, 3 hours and something. I was like, dang, this is a long movie. I mean, thankfully, I had just washed my hair, and wash day is a day. Like, it's a long time. So I had 3 hours for it. So I was, taking out curlers and stuff and watching it. Um, it was good. I liked The Way of the Water too. So I was like, oh yeah, because we had gone to Disney World before, and I think was it Animal Kingdom, I think, where Avatar is, and we rode the ride and everything. So it all came back to me. I was like, okay, yes. Now I'm remembering. Now it's coming back to me. And it all built up to us going to see Avatar Fire and Ash in the movie theater. Fire and Ash was good. It was one of those movies, though, it was like, it didn't have to be that long. It really didn't have to be that long. They could have cut some of the stuff out. But for the most part, I mean, I get why they left it in. They were trying to do a lot of, and what I can appreciate is that they were doing a lot of character building, a lot of explanation for who these characters are and why they're important to the plot. But for me, it's like, man, the hours and hours, like goodness. But it was good. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I thought Fire and Ash was good. Very good. Um, would I watch another Avatar movie? Yeah, I would watch another Avatar movie. How long do I think it's gonna be? 5 hours probably, because that seems to be the trend. They just keep getting longer and longer and longer. But it's worth it. It didn't feel that long. It was like a lot of action. There was some talking in it, of course, but there was a lot of action. They fight a lot. There's a lot. So in there. And there are some themes of, not being against people just because they're different from you. And then all money isn't good money. You don't, if you have to kill and steal to get it, then maybe you shouldn't have it. There was a lot of interesting things to think about from those movies. So I like it. It was good. But those are the main two things that I spent some time watching. Did I read? Just a little. Like after I finally got out of the bed that first Wednesday, I had listened a little bit more to Strong Ground by Brene Brown. And then I had a little voice in my head that was like, sit down. So I sat back down and I stopped listening to it, and I did other things that I wanted to do. So I didn't read very much. I plan to get back on that later on, but right now, no, I didn't read it. And I didn't even bring my Lead Like a Pirate book home. It is in my office. I left it there. I said to myself, no, ma'am, you are going to go home and you are going to do a whole lot of resting. And I did. And I took that time, and I'm glad I took that time. I earned it. So that was a lot of what I did. Now, we did go hiking, my family and I. We went somewhere off of 59. It was good. It had like a little museum in it, and it outside there was a playground. I'm gonna see if I can find the name of this place. It's nice, but the area where we were hiking was really cool. It had a trail, and at the end, one part of the end of the trail we were on, it was like a little beach, and I was like, a beach? What? Because it was sand, and then the sand leads into like this creek, and so I don't know, it was pretty cool. We didn't swim or anything, and I didn't see any signs that said you couldn't. The main reason why I wanted to tell you about it is because it was one of those places where I did get to relax, happy place. Walking, running, especially outdoors, is a happy place. I enjoy doing that, and I think others should take the time to, touch grass and get some sun. Spring Creek Greenway Nature Center. So that was, I mean, cool place, nice place to take the kids, nice little family place. You go outside, you can hike. They have the museum inside. They have a playground out there, and you can just woosah. I'm all for a woosah. So it was good. Got my nails done. Did some New Year celebration stuff. We went to a party at one of his friends' houses, and that was fun. My youngest child, Lord have mercy, that Gavin, whew, talk about life of the party. He's very uninhibited. He is around people and it's like, hey, what's your name? What are you doing? Let's dance. And he's dancing with people. I'm like, where did you come from? Because that is so not me. I was sitting at the table speaking mostly to the people that I knew, getting outside of my comfort zone just a little bit with people that look familiar. And yeah, so for the most part, I wasn't mingling. I did a couple line dances, a two-step here and there. But I've mostly laughed at Gavin a lot. G was being a preteen, kind of talking with other kids his age and hanging out, too cool for school type of thing. But I saw I didn't see the ball drop. We did a countdown. We did a toast. It was fun. It was a good way to bring in the new year with family. So that was a good time. And I just think the theme of this whole break was ease. And the theme of this whole episode is ease. We are not about to break our necks out here, people. We're not doing it because, not to say that it's not worth it, but what I'm saying is you have to think about how to use your time and your energy wisely. Wisely. I had to get it through my skull that just because you are working hard doesn't mean you're working better and doesn't mean you're working well at all. Sometimes you're just working hard and it's a waste of time. And I'm over that. We're leaving that way in the past. We want to make sure that whatever we're expending our energy on is aligned with where we're trying to go. Period. If it's not, then stop spending so much time on it. Just stop. So returning with intention, returning with ease is important. You have to think about how you can sustain yourself for the long haul. I can even do like a running analogy, right? If I know that I need to run a 5K, I am not going to start my run super fast because I know I have to sustain my energy for 3.1 miles, and that is a long time. So I don't want to have to stop running because I'm out of energy. During the run, I know I'm going to start at a certain pace. I know I'm going to speed up. I'll slow down. I'll speed up again. I know that because I've done it several times and because I know that is the only way that I can sustain my energy over that length of time. You just have to, over that distance. So it's not a sprint, in my opinion. I realize that Just be smart. And it doesn't mean you have to sit down and do nothing. You don't stop. It just means you might have to slow down. You might have to speed up. You might have to change your stride even. Just think about things in a way that aligns with your goal. That's it. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're doing in 2026. Alignment with ease. That's what we're doing. So you don't have to change who you are. It doesn't require a new version. It's like, oh, the new me. No, the same you works. It does. You just have to make sense with what you're doing. Be clear and do it in a way that is aligned so you don't waste your energy. You have to get back into the swing of things, is what they say. But that doesn't mean you have to get back into the swing of things super fast. Ease your way into it, knowing exactly what you have to do and how you have to do it, and then do it. That's it. You don't have to sprint to be effective. You don't have to be loud to be impactful. You don't have to be exhausted in order to be worthy. You just need to be clear on where you're going, and then that will help you be impactful and get to where you need to go. That's it. That's it. I'm all about ease. And ease doesn't mean lack of effort. It just means aligned effort. Choose systems that support you. Choose people that support you. Choose things that support you. And it's okay to say no when you need to say no. If there's something that isn't aligned with the goal, share that and then keep moving. Move with intention instead of, right? That is gone. Dead are the days when we just have to do it all. It feels like that, but is it necessary? Ask, if we do this, is it aligned with our goal of insert? If not, then can we try insert? Because that would still get us to the goal of insert goal without feeling overwhelmed. Sure, share that. I don't know anyone that's like, no, we need to be exhausted. No, we don't. We really don't need to be exhausted. We need to be smart. We need to be intentional. Ease. And then I want to take a moment to also talk about worth, because that's something I've struggled with. I don't know if other people have struggled with that before, probably. But your value isn't tied to how much you can produce. And it's not tied to how perfect you are and how perfect everything is around you. And it's not tied to your performance. You want to do well, but you were worthy before any of that happened. And you were worthy before you even made a to-do list of things. And you'll be worthy after it. Worth is not tied to any of those things. You woke up worthy. Take that in. If you can just think through, I'm going to ease my way into this, and I already know that I'm worthy of being here. I'm supposed to be here in this place doing this work, then you're going to alleviate a lot of stress. And then the last thing I want you to think about is longevity. A lot of times we think about, things in terms of short spurts, but leadership as a whole is not just a season, a short spurt of time. It's a lifetime practice. It is something that you do all the time. If you're a leader at work, you should also be a leader at home, and you should also be a leader in the grocery store and at the karate dojo during your child's workout. Like, people pick you out because they see it in you, because that's how you live your life. They notice things because that's who you are. Longevity. The decisions you make should be tied to you being able to produce in the future. You should be thinking about the things that you do supporting you as a leader and the leader that you want to be next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Everything that you do should be connected to that. I don't want to have to be a different person to be a leader. The only thing that should be changing might be the strategies. I might have a a better strategy because someone wiser showed it to me and helped me learn it, right? Sure, let's do that. But I don't have to change who I am as a person. You just need to make sure that what you're doing and the strategies that you're using are for the long haul, things that work over time. And one of those strategies could just be listening to people with experience in doing well. That could help. What worked for them? Maybe it can work for you if you try it over time. So those are the three things that I'm really working on in 2026 and beyond. Ease, worth, and longevity. If we can just keep those three things in mind, we will be fine. We'll be fine. We will be fine. And if something is stressing you out and you're like, oh my God, take a moment and think, what is this going to look like 1 year from now? How is this affecting me as a leader 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now? And is it that thing that's affecting you, or is it your response to that thing that's affecting you? And if it's the response, you can totally control that, right? You can totally control that. That is where the ease comes in. Now you're thinking about what is your strategy to tackle said issue. We'll be okay. That's the beauty of rest. Rest gives you clarity. Get some sleep, y'all. Go to sleep. I did it. It's wonderful. I will be doing it today. Lots of rest. Please prioritize your rest. So that brings us to our tip of the week. And this week's tip of the week, we've already talked about it a bit, but it is ease back into the grind. Ease back into the grind. Instead of going hard, go gently. Go gently. Okay? Pick a priority that you have for the day. You already know that you have a to-do list and I've got to do this at this time, this at this time. What's the priority for the first week back? And most of us aren't even going for a whole week. And when I say a whole week, I mean with students, right? So you have your day that you get there, or 2 or 3 without students, right? What are the priorities? Pick one per day, get that done. Boom, I got that done. Moving to the next thing. What's the next priority? Get that done. Boom, got that done. Right? Just prioritize what has to be done now and what can be done later. And then schedule some time for thinking and breathing, also known as reflection. Schedule that time. I'm horrible with scheduling reflections. I'm horrible with that. I kind of just sit in my head and I'm going through things and I'm thinking through things, but I don't reflect. And when I say I don't reflect, I don't ask myself what went well, why? What didn't go well, why? What can I do differently to make tomorrow better? Just reflect. These are the things that I need to be thinking and probably writing down to help me day after day. Reflect. That'll help you ease back into the grind. Another thing is to go back to your routines that you know worked. Go back to them before you add some new ones. More doesn't mean better. Just because you're doing more stuff doesn't mean it's better. What are the routines that you know work? Go back to them. At school, what are the routines that we know work? Go back to them. That's foundational. Hit those foundational things that you cannot stop, because that will cause issues. You've got to make sure the foundational things are in place so you can move forward with ease, right? And then end each day by, naming things that went well. We've talked about this before. It's really easy to focus on that one thing that annoyed you, that got under your skin, that you can't stop thinking about. But you really got to work on focusing on what went well. What went well every single day. Something went well every single day. Think about it. Build on it. Momentum grows when you let the pressure fade, right? You gotta try to ease the pressure. So easing back into the grind, you just need to think about picking a priority each day, scheduling time for reflection, revisiting your routines, and naming things that went well. We've done this. It's the beginning of a new year, beginning of a new semester, beginning of a new 9 weeks or 6 weeks, however you're doing it. Just know, ease into it. It doesn't have to be, okay, I'm back. I gotta do this. Easy, easy. All right. So as you step back into your work, just make sure you ask yourself about the pace that is supporting your well-being. Also ask about what is honoring your worth, and ask about what is going to support you in your leadership long term. Welcome back. Okay? Rediscover your joy, embrace your true self, let them see you. And I'm a huge proponent of joy. You know, one thing that brings me joy is when somebody told me that I helped them. I love that. I like to be helpful. I like to be useful. I like to feel like I have some place in this world, and that's a purpose that I feel is for me. So like, subscribe, share, tell me in the comments what you think. I would love to hear from you. Enjoy your 2026. Bye. Thanks for listening to Let Them See You. Until next time, climb with courage, stand in the light, let them see you.